Puerto Rico has absolutely no say in the election of the president that might send our sons and daughters to war. It is, in fact, a second-class citizenship.
It should be a source of shame for the United States, a country that projects itself as a champion for democracy, to have a colony in the 21st century.
Did you know that more than 3 million people living in the US don't have the right to vote in the presidential election? In Puerto Rico, a Caribbean island and one of the poorest US territories, many residents feel voiceless.
Since we're not a state, the Constitution does not give us that right to vote for president or for the US Congress. That's the same all across all of the different US territories.
They are mere possessions of the United States. It is a clear violation of international law.
Puerto Ricans have US passports, serve in the military, and use a dollar as currency. They are directly impacted by the decisions taken in Congress and in the White House, but they have no representation.
I don't know of any other country that has been a colony since 1493. There's no other country that has been a colony for that long.
Well, historically, there's some really clear examples of that. The mass sterilization of Puerto Rican women that happened between the 1930s and 70s. The United States using our land as a testing ground for their bombs and their chemical weapons.
Subjecting people who were for sovereignty and independence to be jailed or murdered, it was illegal. The Puerto Rican flag was illegal.
We are Puerto Ricans, we are not Americans, we don't want to be Americans. It's just outrageous that we have to live under the United States rule.
Some demand independence and say that Puerto Rico has been a colony for more than 500 years, first ruled by Spain, now by the US. Others want the island to become the 51st state of the US, and that Puerto Ricans have the same right as the rest of Americans.
What that colonial exploitation looks like right now is really economic exploitation, making it very, very hard for the actual people of Puerto Rico to have a dignified existence in our own home.
Puerto Rico has held multiple referendums on its status in the past. The last one, in 2020, gave a majority to statehood, but voter turnout was low. Congress has refused to accept Puerto Rico as a state, and now independent parties are getting traction.
If it had been in their interest to turn Puerto Rico into a state, that would have happened long time ago. We are not useful to them as a state.
Congress will not adopt a statehood bill for a nation where most of the people don't know English. They say that if they admit Puerto Rico, then it's going to be 7 more legislators, and that's going to skew the balance of power between the Democratic and the Republican Party.
And that's not a serious decolonization process, right? It is not binding. The United States has never shown interest in acting upon any of the results in any of these referendums.
It's useless to hold a vote and another vote and another vote with no consequence.
End up being a historic moment in which the Puerto Rican Independence Party finally has a governor. We might turn the page. We have to sit down and talk about the future.